Alright, I wanted to make this a video on Naruto originally. However, I can't because I can't actually watch the chapters right now. That sucks, however, that will eventually be dealt with. However, I do want to talk about something I've been avoiding because it's a very anemic topic, and it's related to Gamergate, which is the anemic topic. Gamergate, there's like not a lot to talk about. I don't know how people are able to do it. It's actually something where I hold her. I gotta pat him on the back because that takes a lot of work to make so many videos off this topic. Orini himself wants to make a documentary on Anita Sarkeesian, which I'm thinking that topic is what you need to hope for is that when that trend dies out, that there's an aftershock and it comes back to relevancy for a few more months. That's what you gotta hope for. When you do that, you wait, and then you release the documentary. That's how you gotta work on what you gotta work on as a producer. You gotta ship this out when it becomes hot again. Because otherwise, it's gonna be a waste of money, and I don't like when people waste their money. Because you're gonna work on a documentary with another person, that's gonna take some real capital, depending on how you intend on doing it. If it's gonna be one of those YouTube conspiracy theory documentaries where you got stock footage all other conspirators have, where you're taking samples from Zeitgeist and other conspirator documentaries, then I'd say, okay, do what you gotta do. But otherwise, that's crazy. And what I want to avoid with this whole anti-social justice warrior thing isn't just a bad representation of people that we have as our leaders, because technically I am against social justice bullshit. It's not true justice, if I'm gonna think about it lawfully, and it is just a bunch of people harping on the worst kind of slave morality, thinking from the chaotic side. It's not very good. However, these aren't the kind of people you gotta worry about. Now I remember Spoonie was talking shit about Gamergate. Spoonie was saying that he was dissing on Internet Aristocrat, reblogging anything he thought was stupid. Not reblogging, retweeting. Sorry, got Tumblr on my mind. Go figure. He would retweet the stupid shit they say, and then he would mock them in a reply. Do all these little nitpicking tactics. That's the only way he can make an argument. He doesn't really know anything else. He doesn't know how to actually refute a point. Just mock people for the nature of their tone. Do what he thinks is psychologizing, but it sucks. However, the Spoonie one is probably only on the Gamergate side. Not just because that's a general that guy with the glasses channel awesome thing, even though he's no longer a part of that, but because he's trying to fix his image. Because we all know that 2 years ago, he said some sexually aggressive shit to that. Who's that girl that reviews anime? She also just left Channel Awesome. It was Jesu Otaku. He said some weird like S&M shit, and that got everyone pissed and that got him suspended. He was saying up all this random shit about it, like it was to protest feminism. It was just a joke. You guys are taking me way too seriously. So he's just trying to fix his image, really. That's all he's trying to do. And really, if you're going to act like a perverted beta male, then what would I expect? I would expect nothing less than this a few years later. And also, Anita Sarkeesian she was on the Colbert Report. I don't know about you, but Colbert's trying to change his image too. Remember when last year all those Tumblrites used to love him for being a funny satire guy? You know, a satirist. I don't know how to pronounce that because I always read the word, but I've never actually heard someone say it. Satirist. Yeah, that's probably how it's pronounced. This guy he made a Korean joke, and that was probably to actually be a satire guy. But for some reason, that Sui Park Korean chick started this trend to cancel Colbert for being racially insensitive. So he used to be this whimsical, funny guy mocking actual conservative talking points and pretending to be a pundit. And now all of a sudden, people actually thought he was all those things. But except for just for Koreans. So I guess that makes him a good troll, but I never really found him that funny. To be honest, I never really found Tosh.0 funny either. I don't think anyone on TV is funny. Unless they bring Bernie Mac from the dead, I don't think anyone's funny on television. So he probably has heard because he's trying to fix his image too. These people are trying to fix their images. That's the vibe I keep getting. Apparently Sarkeesian is going to work on Mirror's Edge 2. And that's why people are saying, well, this topic is actually important because it does affect developers, the opinions of journalists. And the fact that she will be on that game, that does really matter. But when I think about it, have you actually played Mirror's Edge? Have you actually noticed the story, watched some videos on what it's about? It's essentially a left-wing story about a tyrannical, totalitarian government. The mother of the main protagonist died in a raid or a flash bomb protest, whatever you want to call it, because some of those cops with the plastic shields, they killed her. So it is one of those protesting stories. I mean, the characters there were shipping out information because you're not supposed to ship out certain information. You're not supposed to keep the populace knowledgeable on certain things. And when you think about that, of course she would work on a game like that because they're trying to work on their image as well. And who's to say that a video game company gets, in trouble for saying something wrong, and they want to fix their image too? Well, of course they're gonna bring in an SJW. Of course they're gonna be on their side. I'm trying to fix your image. Remember, Stephen A. Smith, the sports guy he speaks about, football and basketball. He got suspended for a month or two, maybe 2 weeks, because he said that women shouldn't say anything to egg on domestic abuse. They shouldn't do anything to piss off the guy and cause that. And of course he was blaming the victim and he got suspended. Do I agree with his rhetoric? I never heard him say it. Depends on how he said it. However, if you think about it, a month or two later when Ray Rice, I made that reaction video and I've said this before when I saw it, he He duffs his girlfriend in an elevator, and that was caught on camera. And then Stephanie Smith was saying, "We got a problem. We got a domestic abuse problem, and there needs to be a way to deal with it because what Rice did was wrong." He was trying to fix his image. So the real problem, it's not these SJWs. It's the fact that people really want to fix their image. I mean, the media isn't composed of social justice warriors, at least on the upper echelon. Maybe on a lower side of the fence. It's mostly just progressives. And people, rich swipples trying to flex their wealth. Especially the ones that suffer from Showa abuse. But this is to be expected. That's what you gotta worry about. You gotta worry about people that try to fix their image. People that legitimately feel that the world has turned their back on them, and maybe to get some agents telling you, alright, this will help you look better. I mean, what happens if they have Chris Brown saying, you know, Gamergate is a dangerous thing. It's full of misogynies. People are actually planning on hurting women. Those death threats they've apparently sent. Yeah, those are real, and we have a legitimate problem because it's always wrong to hit a female. You know that would probably, I'll probably happen, and it would suck, and it'd be very funny too. Can't call women bitches. You can't call them hoes. That's what you gotta worry about. People trying to fix your image. You gotta worry about people who have a legitimate progressive leftist side. You gotta worry about the actual powers that be. Because everyone else, I mean, Internet Aristocrat explained himself, these are all just like narcissists. They're kids. Why would you be upset by something a kid tells you? When was the last time you spoke to a 4-year-old and a 4-year-old kid said, "No, you're a butt face," and then you actually got legitimately upset for weeks because of that? Probably never, because you're probably a normal person. The things that children say are stupid. They're not very hurtful. Getting called I mean, I remember like the last two Anon responses I got on Tumblr were, any abuse from women is bad. Don't be ignorant. Feminism is feminism. I said, I said something like, don't be impressionable. And this other person said that you're a misogynistic piece of trash. I said there's nothing about that response that wasn't cliche. I mean, these people are not very creative. Their insults suck. Because they're coming from the place of a child, and a child cannot insult someone that's a little grown. I'm too grown for this shit. I mean, it's an internet insult, so I've been exposed to the internet enough times where I can see these responses for what they truly are, which is childish. I mean, you wouldn't get insulted if your like pet barks at you a certain way. So why would you get upset when someone with the intelligence of your household pet were to say something, or to, snarl at you in a way you don't like? Why? I don't get it. That's the real problem. People that are just trying to be adults, they're just trying to fix their image, but they don't understand the situation. I mean, Bill Cosby was accused of, he's getting a bunch of rape threats nowadays. Are you gonna see him try to say some shit to change his image the next year or so? Nope. Nope, you won't see that at all. Because Bill Cosby is the model for how you should probably act in the face of adversity. Because that's a real man right there. I mean, Pudding Pop and whatever, Dr. Huxtable. That's the model man. That's how you gotta frame yourself to be. Anyway, this has been Mr. Wonka 7. I've ranted, but I never really felt this ranting was bad. This was only my second take. The first one was only like 2 minutes because something happened. But I really like it. Anyway, y'all can fuck yourselves. I'm about to do some more recording later. Peace out. Really? You want me to save the title and then stop the recording? That's fucking stupid. So I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna type random letters.